Good evening, and it's great to be back on Bent TV, coming to you in your living rooms or your bedrooms, I'm not sure, but it's great to be back. This is Ginni Saraswati. I'm joined by three lovely women today. We're going to be discussing the issues that mean the most to us in our community. I'm joined to my right is Kim McInnes, Jess Glover and Emma Dawson. Ladies, I thought being a Gen Y person, you know, we're the generation that gets a lot of flack because we dream big, we think big, we want big things for our lives, but our previous generation, our predecessor thinks we've got our head in the clouds. What do you guys think about that?
I think that we should dream big. I think it's a generational thing, and you know, the generation before us, they had to survive and they had to get a solid career, and we've been sort of told that we can do these great things, and I think we should aim for them. I don't think that's a really, I don't think that's a far dream. Like, I think we should go for it.
I think maybe perhaps the generation before us and even before them, they worked really, really hard to get to where they were and had low expectations. And maybe that's why, because we have such high expectations, they see that we're not working hard enough. Yeah. Maybe.
The baby boomer generation, like I think of my parents, they kind of survived in a generation of there was wars around, there was migration, there was thinking about how do we actually survive. So that survival mentality was really, really apparent in the baby boomer generation. Now when you think of our generation, like there's all these evolutions in theories of ways of thinking, of spirituality, of manifestation. So I think our generation kind of tends to think bigger because there's an evolution going on in the way of thinking in the world. Would you guys agree with that?
Mm. Yeah, definitely there's a massive shift. I know, from me and my sisters and my friends, you know, that's something that we really value, is that evolving ourselves and growing and new ways of thinking, whereas I think from the generations below, you're right, it was more of a survival.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of evolving going on.
But maybe that's why a lot of Gen Y people are not quite as happy as what they could be, because we do have these, we do dream big, but maybe we're not, like, you know how we were talking about the vision boards the other day?
Yeah.
By doing that, we're sort of, manifesting what we want, and we're putting our energy and our actions towards that, but then there's a lot of other people who don't really have those goals as such. I mean, they have goals, or they've got visions, but aren't really doing much to get there.
The way they go about their goals is very different. Because I think our previous generation, the way that it's kind of drummed into us, if you want a goal that you want to achieve, you've got to work hard for it.
Yeah.
Whereas there seems to be this apathy in our generations, like, okay, we're visioning this, we're doing a vision board. A vision board, by the way, is a board where you put pictures or quotes of what you want to manifest for your life. So there's this kind of attitude of, all right, I've put it on my vision board, let it happen. Yeah. It doesn't quite work that way.
No, I think you've got to actually take action as well. You can't just go, I want to achieve this, and then sit there and expect it to happen. You know, you have to walk in that direction as well and take the right actions towards those goals. And I think that's what some people get confused about. Like, I've made a vision board, why isn't it happening? Well, are you actually taking steps towards this as well? Are you doing the right behaviours and, you know, thinking the right way? And I think there's a little bit of confusion there.
I think though that the Gen Y gets a bit of a hard rap. I mean, we're working longer hours now than what our parents' generation did. So in terms of like Gen Y not working hard for what they achieve, I'm not sure. You know, I think that we do work quite hard, and it's a different. The landscape of the working culture is completely different now to what it was, you know, 20 to 30 years ago. So
that's a good point too, because I was trying to think. I was explaining to my family the other day, like, I'm juggling 3-4 jobs, and they could not comprehend why I did that, because some of those jobs aren't actually paid. They're like, well, why are you investing time into something that's got no financial gain? And you're talking about the evolution, as you were, Jess, like about how we're working longer hours, because we do have, you're right, actually, that's a good point. We do have bigger dreams that we want to achieve, and the survival, and that's, I think, our version of survival in this generation, whereas the baby boomers was a little bit different. We work longer hours because there's more things that we need to compete with, or more I guess, different obstacles that we need to kind of overcome. Yeah, and I think about also the queer community as well, how things have evolved in terms of sexuality and sort of liberation as well, for women especially too. Like when you think about the baby boomer generation, there was a gap there where women couldn't vote, and the, you know, biracial people couldn't get more, people of different races couldn't get married. Now when you apply that to our generation, we can't comprehend, or it's unfathomable that, you know, two people of different races couldn't get married, and there's all these different openings and opportunities that we kind of get blessed with, I guess.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's true. Yeah.
Cool. So when you think about Generation Y, and we get a lot of flack for being unhappy, do you think that's something that we've created ourselves, or do you think we've kind of set ourselves up for failure in a way?
I think that it's like outside pressures. I mean, we're just, our TV is consumed with like reality TV where it's like in our faces of like all these rich, famous people living this extravagant lifestyle, and everyone people aspire to, you know, have those things as well. And then when it's unattainable for the vast majority of us, I think there's this gap between what we'd like and then what we can actually achieve.
And if you think about, going along with what you're saying, social networking and Facebook, we pretty much see images and statuses of people with only positive things to say about their lives, and it's a very unrealistic, what's the word?
Snapshot of reality.
Yeah. So then, while we watch everyone else going on with their amazing lives, we tend to feel a bit like, oh, wow.
There's a big comparative factor now, isn't there? Like you look at someone's Facebook profile, if they're doing so well, you kind of go, oh, you kind of get a bit of introspection and go, why aren't I doing that well? But 98% of the time, whatever they put on Facebook isn't actually what's going on in their life, or it's only a small fraction of what's going on in their life, which is quite interesting.
And they didn't have all those like social media back in the day, so they didn't have that to compare themselves to.
No, it's so easy to just to have a snapshot of what everyone else is doing. I find it weird to post stuff as well, because sometimes I feel like I am achieving great things, but on the flip side, I don't want to sort of gloat about it either. You know, if something cool happens in work or in my life, I don't want to just be like, hey, everyone, check it out. So I've kind of like pulled back, whether it's a positive or a negative sort of experience I'm having in my life. It's very rare that I'm posting things now. Even though I know the benefits of it for, you know, connecting with people. But
I think oversharing, we do a lot of oversharing.
It seems like no matter what part of the alphabet that we are, whether we're LGBTIQ, just make sure that you're you, because no matter what generation that you're from, we all have our battles. This is Ginni signing off on Bent TV.